This is Never Down, Never Out with T.R. Matson. This podcast is about discipline when motivation fades, resilience when things get hard, and showing up when quitting would be easier. No hype, no shortcuts, just the mindset required to build something real. One day at a time. Let's get into it. Welcome back. T.R. Matson, Never Down, Never Out. Episode 60. We did it. And I say we because I wouldn't be here without your support. So thank you so much. It's a beautiful morning outside. I'm feeling pretty positive. 60 episodes, 2 months of this. That is crazy. Now, let me just recap for people in case this is where you started. We started this out. The first 30 Foundations of Mental Toughness. If you're watching this on YouTube, I put that on a playlist. So those are there if you want to go back. Those are the foundations. That's what we started with, right? And then starting with episode 31, we got into discipline, habits, daily execution. And that's going to be episode 31 to 90. So we're now 2/3 with today through that. And we'll get to the topic here in a second. And then once we get through that, the next section, episode 91 to 150, which is crazy. Failure, setbacks, and resilience. I am very much looking forward to that section because I really feel like that is where I have a chance to shine, to teach my children some things, to really focus on things that have happened to me in the past. But we got 30 more episodes to get there. So let's get after it today and making sure my phone is off, and let's hit it. So what is today? Discipline as a lifestyle. What better topic to talk about 60 days in to a goal that I set? We talked early on. I'm going to go back. I'm going to hit. Let's look at some things here. We talked episode 3, motivation versus discipline, right? That one was a big one for me. What's the difference between the two? How to focus on one and not the other, right? So we know what discipline is. Discipline pops up. Episode 13, discipline when no one's watching, right? That was a good one. Where else do we see discipline pop up in what we've talked about for the last 2 months? Episode 31, the first one of this section, discipline is a decision you make daily, right? 37, discipline when motivation's gone. So this idea of discipline is not new, and it's been covered. So why is it important as a lifestyle? Well, frankly, in my opinion, and we talked about this just 10 episodes ago, your discipline is how you view yourself in the world, in my opinion. So if you are not disciplined, I don't think you really truly believe in yourself. And if you don't believe in yourself, how could you believe in other people? Expect other people to believe in you? They're not, right? Because you've never met somebody that is like, oh, woe is me, I can't do anything, blah, blah, blah. And they just lay on the couch or play video games or eat whatever garbage food they want, and they don't exercise, and they don't try to learn things. They don't try to better themselves. They don't try to work on themselves. You've never met that person and been like, I think this person could really make a difference. That would be so rare because they're not giving you any evidence of it, right? So that discipline is the foundation of who you are as an individual. So it becomes a lifestyle. This is tough, right? I mean, when I was in the Navy, we dealt with it where you're used to your life when you're home, right? You've got your warm bed, drive your car to work, you go fly, you do your ground jobs, you go home. It's great. And then you go out to sea and you pack a few bags and you pack a few things. And the room I stayed in was great comparatively, but you're sharing a room with a lot of people. And it's hard to be disciplined because you don't have your own space. And I even think about it now, right? Where I go on trips with the airline and I'm staying in hotel rooms and, let's say I have a 2-day trip and I don't have a whole lot of layover. It's short, 10, 12 hours, which sounds like a lot, but by the time you get to the hotel and you get out of your uniform and, you get your stuff ready for the next day, and get some sleep, there's not a lot there. Yet I still like to write. I still like to exercise. I still like to do something. So the lifestyle choice of discipline becomes, you know what? Okay, let me figure out an easy way to write. Well, I bring my iPad with me. I like writing on my iPad, right? I've figured out that is something that works for me. So that's what I'm going to bring. Great. Let me figure out, I like to exercise. I like to move, right? I sit all day in the plane. Like, I just want to move. So how do I do that? Well, I move by, my wife and I have devised a workout that I could do in the room. Am I going to get huge doing it? Is it massive amounts of weights and cardio? No, but it's movement, right? And I can check it off and I can be disciplined. And I have an app where I put all my workouts, not necessarily like sets and reps and all that, but like just hey, I lifted weights, strength training for 30 minutes. Okay, cool. And I could look back later on the month and go, all right, you're pretty consistent, or not your best month, right? So this discipline as a lifestyle is important because life is going to throw curveballs at you. Whether it's curveballs in your own health, curveballs in your family's health, financial curveballs, life changes, right? Moves, job changes, all this stuff, or your career choice in and of itself is not something where it's consistent every day. And you have to figure out what you want your wins to be and how to be able to do those wins when you're throwing those curveballs. If you could do that, discipline then becomes your life. It becomes your lifestyle and you enjoy the journey. And I've talked about this before where, the one thing that I've learned is it's not the moment that you achieve your goal that is a rewarding part, because that's just a second in time. It's the whole process to get there. And when you look back at that process, when I look back over the last 60 episodes and the things I've learned and the things that work and the things that don't work, I read the comments. I try to read all the comments. It takes a lot of time, but I try to read them because I want the constructive feedback, the criticisms, am I on the right track? Am I doing the right thing for people? That all becomes a discipline and you have to fit it into your day. And whenever you add something to your plate, that's just more stuff, right? So you have to be more efficient with your time. We've talked about this before, talking about if I gave you, 10 matches and I wanted you to break them and I gave you all day to do it, you would take all day to do it. But if I gave you 10,000 matches, you'd figure out a more efficient way to do it. So that is where discipline is this lifestyle. We don't waste time. We get things done. We get up, we start moving, and we go. I heard it the other day on another YouTube channel talking about, and I forget the name of the person, and you can Google it, and I probably should and be more prepared, but they talked about, the mentality of when you get up, you tell yourself, go now, do it now, do it now, do it now, repeat it, and it gets you moving. And there's a reason that works. The reason it works is because we will accomplish things that we deem is necessary right now over things that we would like to do, right? If there's a sense of urgency to something, we're more likely to get after it and get it done and check it off the list and move on than if it's just something we want to do. So if you create the urgency in your mind to be like, go, do it now, do it, then you will. One of the things, this sounds really dumb and it really doesn't change anything, but one of the things early on in the airlines is, for whatever reason, I was always concerned that I'd miss my alarm, right? So the first thing I do every time I get to the hotel is I set all my stuff up for the next day. I've got my alarm set. I've got my clothes set. I've got my shower bag set to shave and all that stuff. Everything's set. And then I go work out or go get something to eat or go write or go do something. But I do that first, and I've done that for over a decade now. That is a small discipline, but it puts my mind at ease. And those small disciplines, they help. So that's where it becomes a lifestyle. And that's, I think, where you need to be, because all of this stuff is great. All of these ideas are great. But if we can't accomplish them because we're not disciplined enough to do it, then it's all just fluff. It's all just a waste, right? It's all just words for the sake of words. And that's not what I want for you to get away from this. I want you to have real tools, real things that you can do where we're actually changing the chemistry of your brain. We are rewiring your brain to be more efficient, to be more disciplined, to be more motivated, to be a better version of yourself tomorrow than you were yesterday. And that's ultimately, in my opinion, why we're here. I watched a video about, what's the purpose of life? And I've always, it's not something I think about a lot, but it comes and goes where I'm like, what am I doing? What is this about? And it's funny because the way the person described it is they said there's really no answer. Because if there was an answer, we'd all be going after the same purpose. We'd be robots, right? But there's no answers. So your purpose is different than my purpose, which is different than your children's purpose or your parents' purpose or your friend's purpose. And that's okay. That's good because it's making you strive for something. There's a reason you're still listening to me 60 days later. You're striving for something that you're seeking. You want to achieve something that you haven't achieved thus far, and you're looking for that answer. That answer is discipline. Making your life disciplined, making each day the gift that you're given of the day and getting the most out of that day is discipline. This phone is our greatest tool and our biggest adversary at times because we sit here and we scroll and we waste time looking at the next thing or the next trend or whatever's going on, and we waste so much time. So we need to stop doing that, and we need to discipline ourselves. We need to accomplish the goals that we're trying to accomplish every day, and it's not big things. Don't sit here and think that you have to have these grandiose, massive things. It's the little disciplines. It's the setting your clothes up. It's the setting your alarm. It's the having a plan. Those build on themselves. Those are the things that gain you momentum. That is how you take discipline and make it a lifestyle. And when it becomes a lifestyle, whatever it is you choose, you're unstoppable because it's now your life. You know the process. And when you know the process and you know what works and what doesn't work, you're so efficient with your time and you get so much done that we end up using so much more of our potential that it makes even the greatest goals that much easier. So what are you doing today that puts you on the track to be more disciplined and make it your lifestyle? 60 days, 60 episodes. Thank you. Thank you for all the support. I appreciate all the shares, the comments, everything. We're in the last third of this section. I'll see you tomorrow for episode 61. If this episode helped you, don't just listen, apply it. Progress is built in what you do after the message ends. Remember, never down, never out. I'll see you tomorrow.